I still remember the first time I realized the night wasn't just still darkness. It was alive with things we weren't meant to understand. My name's Alex, and for the better part of 15 years I worked night shifts, mostly in places that gave most folks the creeps. Graveyards, gas stations, and even a quiet little hotel. At first, I liked the isolation. Something about the night felt honest.
No noise, no chatter, no distractions.
But now, when I close my eyes, I see the things that moved in those shadows. I remember each scream I never heard, every chill that ran down my spine, and every choice I made to walk towards something I should have run from. It all began during my first year working the overnight shift at the cemetery. I'd taken the job for the peace and the extra $2 an hour. Nothing fancy. My nights usually consisted of circling the grounds in an old golf cart and chasing off the occasional group of bored teens or drunk 20-somethings daring each other to touch tombstones. But one night, I think it was a Tuesday, the stillness changed. And it changed me with it. That evening had started like all the rest. I got to the tiny security hut early to chat with the day guy, then did my standard sweep of the grounds. The air was cold but dry, the kind that numbs your fingers before you realize it's happened. At around 2 a.m., I took another spin around the far edge of the yard. That's when I saw him. This lone figure standing beyond the chain-link fence, staring in. Just a shadow at first, a vague outline I couldn't make out. But the moment my headlights hit him, he didn't move. He was watching me, like he'd been waiting. I drove in a circle to see if he'd try to climb in while I passed. But when I came back, he was gone. I don't scare easily, but something about how quickly and completely he vanished made my stomach knot. Still, I tried to shake it off. Probably just a trespasser playing games. That changed when he walked in. Bloodshot eyes, jittery hands, twitchy shoulders. He was high on something. That much was clear. Still, he had a credit card and ID, so I gave him a room on the second floor. Room 112. A few hours passed, and I heard a loud bang. I checked the hallway and found him trying to open one of our locked maintenance doors. I asked if he needed anything. No answer. Just that same dead stare. I went back to my desk, trying to tell myself he was harmless. Just another lost man on a bad trip. Later that night, I walked the halls again and heard more banging. This time from a guest room. I found room 112 wide open. Empty. No sign of the man. I checked the cameras, but he never left through the lobby. I was debating whether to call the police when the phone rang. A guest reported a man knocking on their door. Before I could finish calming her down, another call came in. Another guest. Same thing. A man, knocking. Room to room. I called 911 again. The police arrived and searched every floor. They didn't find him, but they did find an open window in room 112. He jumped out, disappeared into the night. The car he used to pay for the room was stolen. No one knows what he planned, or what would have happened if one of those guests had opened their door. Each of these nights lives in my bones. They don't feel like separate stories anymore. They blur together into one long stretch of darkness that I can't quite crawl out of. I try not to think about what connects them. But part of me believes people like that, creatures of the night, human or not, are drawn to the quiet. They hear the silence and come looking for someone too comfortable in it. Someone like me. I don't work night shifts anymore. I barely sleep at night at all. I keep the lights on, doors locked, and a bat under my bed. Because once you've been seen by the night, it never really lets you go. Thank you for listening to my story. 15 minutes later, I looped back again. Curiosity won out. This time, he was inside the cemetery, just standing there, right on the gravel path, motionless. I parked the cart and approached, keeping my distance. He looked to be in his 40s. Weathered face, dark eyes, pale skin that seemed almost gray under the moonlight. I told him he had to leave, that the grounds were closed. No response. So, stupidly, I reached out and tapped his shoulder. The man's head snapped toward me so fast it made me flinch. His eyes locked onto mine, brimming with hatred and something I couldn't name. Something primal. He didn't speak. He turned slowly and walked away, stepped right over the fence like it was nothing. I wanted to believe he was just another lost soul with nowhere to go. But the rage in his eyes, it burned. It wasn't natural. A man in his mid-30s stepped out, gaunt, unshaven, wearing a worn-out leather jacket. He didn't say a word, just tossed a 20 on the counter and went to pump his gas. But minutes passed, and he just stood there, staring at the pump like he'd forgotten how to use it. I opened the door to check on him, but before I could speak, he got back in the car and drove off. It was part of his arm. I thought I was going to die. I could see it, him lunging, blood everywhere, my body on the linoleum. But just like that, he grabbed the cash and ran. I watched as he jumped into the same beat-up car from earlier. I'd pressed the silent emergency button, and the cops showed up soon after. Turns out the car was stolen. Both men were homeless on a spree, and one of their earlier victims ended up in the hospital. That could have been me. I gave my 2 weeks' notice and swore never to work another night shift again. But old habits die hard. My last overnight job was as a hotel receptionist. It was supposed to be quiet, nothing like the cemetery or the gas station, just phones, keys, and security monitors. Most nights, I didn't even see another human being. If you enjoyed this eerie journey through my experiences, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindle Stories Official for more haunting narratives just like this one. Your support helps keep the stories coming. Stay safe out there, especially after dark.